Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Renaldo Jefri Mahendra. In this video, I will explain about approaches to curriculum design. For the first, curriculum design can be seen as a kind of writing, gathering, ordering, reviewing, editing ideas, and information activity which are systematically arranged based on experience according to scientifically proven concept and such as it can usefully be studied as a process. The list of curriculum process also include these following terms. The first is diagnosis of needs, formulation of objectives, selection of content, organization of content, selection of learning experience, organization of learning experience, determination of what to evaluate, and the means to evaluate. The next is considering the environments. Environment analysis involves considering the factors of the situation uh, in which the course will be used and determining how the course should take account of them. Some factors decided on by several teachers designing different courses for different learners. One teacher decided that the learners lack of interest in learning English should be the major factor influencing curriculum design. The learners were obliged to do an English course as part their degree but received, received, received no credit for it. Uh, the mean that the teacher goal of making the course as interesting and motivating as possible guided the design of the course, particularly the format and presentation of lesson. The second is one teacher decided that the learners plan to move on to academic study in university or technical institute course should have the greatest effect on design of the English course. This had a reaching effect on the language items and the language skills focused on and the type of learning activity. One teacher decided that the externally designed and administered test at the end of the course should be the major factor. This meant that the course book always had to make it obvious to the learners that the work they were doing was directly related to the test. The next is discovering needs. Uh, Hutchinson and Waters 1980 make a useful division of learners' need into, for the first is what the learner has to know to function effectively. The second, what the learner knows and does not know already. And the last is what the learners think they need. Okay, the next is following principles. We define the principles such as knowledge, education, experience based on research related to the kind of course that support the designer. It is very important that curriculum design makes the connection between research and theory language learning and the practice of designing lesson and course. There is a tendency for this connection not to be made, with the result that curriculum design and therefore learners do not benefit from development in knowledge gained from research. What is important is that curriculum design is treated 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 as a normal part of the field of applied linguistics and thus draws on available knowledge to guide it. And the next is goals. Curriculum design has a goal as its center to decide why the course is being taught and what the learners need from it. Goals can be expressed in general terms and be given more detail when considering the content of the course. Here, some example of goals that have been set for language course is the aim communicative teaching is to encourage students to exploit all the elements of the language that they know in order to make their meanings clear. Students cannot be expected to master every aspect of the language before they are allowed to use it for communicative purpose. And the next is design the lesson format has dealing with presenting material. Format is about how the materials are arranged and formed. In the delivery of the material in courses for learners is delivered in the form of one such presentation. In making presentation have sources used uh, as a basis for a lesson will have a decisive effect on the ease of making listen. The advantage to have a set format for listen is the first is easier to make, the second is easier to monitor, and the third is easier to learn. The next is monitoring and assessing. The aims of curriculum design are to make a course that has useful goals, that achieves its goals, that statistics its user, and that does all this in efficient way. An important requiring part of the design process to assess how well these aims are achieved. And the last is evaluating a course. The last process in designing course is evaluating. The course will be evaluated as a whole in evaluation process, and information gained from assessment is one of useful source of data about the effectiveness of course. Basically, evaluation tries to answer the question, is this a good course? If it's not good, we will change it. Kalau ini setelah dievaluasi kurang bagus, kita akan mengubah yang tidak bagus itu menjadi yang lebih bagus. I think that's all for me. If I do some mistake, I apologize. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.